about that. I don't know what's going on with the reception. So starting it over. So y'all see the title. I started off with Elon drama. So basically, I was saying in the last video that the that Elon Musk is being very tone deaf when it comes to the big beautiful bill, and um, he wanted Donald Trump to put a mandate for his vehicles, that being the electric vehicles, and you know Elon Musk being a acting like a spoiled child, he decided, oh, Donald Trump is on the Epstein list, and so, um, you know, I I spoke on that in the last video. I'm not gonna get into that, like why that is so silly of Elon Musk to do that, because it makes him look bad. But let's move forward. Um, he was disappointed that there was no mandate for his vehicles, and if Elon was paying attention, he would have known that when Trump was campaigning, he was saying he's going to get rid of Biden's mandates for electric vehicles. I campaigned for him. He wouldn't have won without me if I would have been in Pennsylvania. It's like, yo, did you not hear what Donald Trump was saying when he was campaigning the whole time? He was saying he's going to do away with electrical vehicle mandates. Elon, what? Damn, and that's oh gosh, this is this is like what did you miss, dude? So anywho, needless to say, so enough of that. Enough of the Elon drama. Let's move forward to the immigration and the LA riots. Now this is important. Um, what is important, you guys, is that um, what is important is understanding why the migrants come here. They come here because of what we have available in the system. They come here because of the system, not because of the land, not because of it's the system. And so when the so there was a Native American guy. Shout out to all my Native Americans, but he was saying, and he made a lot of truth when he said this because he was saying that your Hispanics, Mexicans, Hondurans, and all that are not illegal aliens, and they are indigenous to this land, and I agree with him. However, the system of EBT, the system of Medicaid, Medicare, and all that shit, they're coming for what's in the system that was created by uh, people who deem people who are not paying into the system as illegal aliens, migrants, whatever you want to call them. They are coming to a system that they have not paid into. That's what the whole fight is about. And then you have the people in California rioting, and it's like, you know, you're fighting for a system. So it's really. And then that one thing, you have people with their flags, the Honduran flags, and all these different flags, um, waving it, and it's like that made no sense. That makes no sense at all. That you have people waving these flags and whatnot from these different countries, but you know your country doesn't have these systems in place, and so it's not even about a fight for the country and where you're from, and it's you getting into the system, and the system can no longer sustain all of these people. You have people who paid into the system and not bidding from the system, and this where the is where the problem lies. And so the people who voted for this um, for Trump's policies, voted for Trump's policies to um, because the system can no longer sustain X amount of people. We already got X amount of people, and you got more and more people who came through the border, and so the policy is we can't sustain this, and so all these extra people trying to get into the system have got to go because we can no longer sustain it because you got people here who can't get into the system, who can't get the food stamps, the Medicare, the Medicaid, Social Security, whatever, and uh, people who have been paying for it look at these people who are coming in from different countries as damn cutting the line and cutting the line and getting benefits that's part of the system. So yeah, we it's not about I have no problem with well, I guess there's many layers of this. I was gonna say I don't have no problem with it, but there is a problem with, now, like okay, so the guy from I think they call him the guy from I forgot what state that is, um, where they deported him and now they're rearresting him and bringing him back. They're like, oh, you want to be part of the system? Okay, we will come extradite you back to the U.S. and we will try you and we will send you to prison. And yeah, we're going to feed you, but we're going to send you to prison. And because you got people who are breaking the laws of the system, meaning human trafficking and some got gang activities. Now this is what Pam Bondi is saying about I forgot his name. Where the people, it kind of y'all know I do mostly international. So doing the domestic thing, I'm not good with names. I'm not good with not that good with names. Maryland man, I think they call him Maryland man. But they said he was part of MS-13. So you got different layers of this. You got people who are breaking the laws, and then you got people who try to get not necessarily gang banging and doing seven deadly sin crimes, that being, arson, rape, murder, all that. You know, what I'm saying is that the people, like I said, it's multi layers. This thing is multi layers. And so I'm looking at the first layer being that the people want to get into a system that will assist them, the system that will assist them, that being your DHS, child support, family care services, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, that kind of stuff. These are systems that these people are coming over the border to get because I'm assuming the country that they come from is not offering these assisted services. And because these assisted services are popular worldwide, and that's why people worldwide risk their lives trying to cross the border to get to the system, to get to the system. Not even so much to get into the country, because you can get into the country, and I've seen people myself, my own eyes. I've seen sisters from Nigeria come all the way over here and then start tricking and get hooked on goddamn crack and all that. I've just recently seen this. I've seen this and I keep seeing it. And I just recently seen I seen this homeless lady, and then I'm just like, she came up to me and she had this strong accent, and I'm like, I'm shocked. I'm thinking it's just a regular sister from Atlanta. No, this woman is from a whole nother country. So you come all the way over here to get hooked on crack and be a streetwalker. You come all the way over here because I know you had, from Nigeria, from Lagos, Nigeria. I say Lagos because that's the major airport of Nigeria. Over the Atlantic, well, you go through England and then over the Atlantic and come here to smoke crack and walk the streets. Like I said, and I've seen this numerous times here in Atlanta. Me being a truck driver, or just No, I don't. I don't trick off people. Don't. I know where y'all thinking. No, no, I'm not tricking. What I'm saying is that as a truck driver, um, these women assume that all truck drivers are tricking. Some of them are. I'm not the one, but being that I'm a truck driver, they just, they run towards us because they just assume that if one truck driver does it, all truck drivers do it. And no, all truck drivers do not do it. So so my fellow truck drivers out there, I'm not saying that we all be tricking. Some of us, some of y'all, I'm not gonna say some of us. Are you doing? Some of y'all do be tricking. So I say that to say this is that, um, you know, um, I say that to say this. I got on a tangent. I do apologize. Is that these people from around the world all come here to get to that system, that being food stamp, child support, Medicare, Medicaid, um, whatever benefits mm, that that the system offers people to a system. That's why they're coming here. There's no other reason why that. I mean, because America is just like any other country except for the assisted programs. Okay, the assisted programs is what differentiates us from every other country in the world. Now, yeah, some people might say that Europe has it, but I think Europe, I think Europe has the same thing. But right now, because of that war in Ukraine, Europe is facing an uncertain future, and this is why they want to go toward Russia to get their resources. It's not even about Ukraine, it's about Russia. Not only to get Russian resources, but resources out of Africa because Russia is inspiring. What's going on, Tim? Russia is inspiring Africa. And with Africa, you got one of their main guys, Ibrahim Traore, and he's inspiring other countries, just like wildfires, other countries in Africa. And so, yeah, the Europeans are upset about that. Now, Trump, on the other hand, is caught right in the middle because the Biden administration and other presidents besides Trump, other than Trump, you got Obama, Bush, all them, Clinton, Reagan, they all have had agendas to get resources out of Africa. That's just been something Europe and America have been doing for a long time. Now, Trump, being America first, has a whole different approach to things. He wants to make deals. He wants to not fight Russia. He wants to make deals with Russia. He wants to make deals with Ukraine. And he wants to see how America can benefit. He's saying, you know what? America does not benefit going to war with Russia, one of the most powerful nuclear nations in the world. That's not going to benefit us as Americans. And so Trump sees that Putin is a very rational, reasonable person to deal with. So, yeah, Trump is like, yeah, I can will and deal with Vladimir Putin on some business deals. However, the military industrial complex that Eisenhower told us about uh, wants to go to war because war is profit. They can make profit in war, and they can sell. Not only what's so crazy is not only they can sell military equipment to Ukraine, they can sell military equipment to Russia. Yeah, I said it. They can sell military equipment to Russia. Even though Russia has their own military equipment, they can still sell drones, which China is doing. China was selling drones on both sides. China was selling drones on both sides, both Russia and Ukraine. So Russia and Ukraine have the same drones. They're buying from the same source supplier, which is China. You know, China, they're so damn devious, man. And I guess I need to save this for another video, man. They trying to pass these fungus, uh, these bacteria, fungus to get into our crops and infect us, man. This is the second time they've done this, man. This is the second time they're doing this. They need to. I don't know what else. China, man, y'all are tripping. China, you guys are tripping. So let me say this. Um, the system we live in, people look at as very beneficial, and they're reeling across the Rio Grande. Really, they don't care if there's alligators in there because we didn't put alligators in. They don't care. They're going to cross and risk their lives and come to Rio Grande because of the benefits that they receive from the system. The system. Some may even say is jobs. I don't even think it's the jobs anymore. I think it's just the system. Yeah, once upon a time it was the jobs. The people from different countries will come over here and, oh, there's jobs and all that. Well, now there's jobs in other places now because the factories move overseas to Mexico and Canada and China and so forth. And so Trump is bringing that back. But the people who are coming here now are benefiting off the system. Now, yes, some of them can get loans and start up their businesses. I've seen that. But at the end of the day, how long will we be able to sustain this? And this is what Trump has gave many thoughts to, and a lot of us gave many thoughts to, and this is why we as Americans we voted. And then when I was watching the riots yesterday, they were screaming, um, if we don't something about if we're not part of the system, then it down with the system, something like that. And I'm like, what? So down with our votes? We are the majority. We voted for. Oh, geez, just some of these things that uh, the people in California, man, I'm not understanding why they don't understand when you flood the system, it will eventually collapse because there's only so many people putting into the system to, you have to have workers in that system. But the thing is that you're having more people come in across the borders, um, putting the weight on the system. So you know, I look at that and I'm just like, I just know Tom Homan got his hands full, man, because there's a lot of people. And Tom Homan, he's doing his tours, but I knew that Tom Homan would get the biggest pushback from Los Angeles. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, he's getting the biggest pushback from Los Angeles. And because of the pushback he's getting, let's see, you are right. Yeah, Tim, I'm just, like I said, I was just looking at the riots yesterday, and I was just like, it wasn't even riots. I didn't consider it riots. I consider the Rodney King riots. I consider that a riot. Let me tell you why the big difference. Because I was in the I lived in Los Angeles when the Rodney King riots happened, and the difference between the Rodney King riots and the riots yesterday is that the riots yesterday were contained and controlled. Trump immediately controlled that, and it was no they were arresting people left and right. Boom, 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 boom. That's the difference. Rodney King riots was so spontaneous. It was like a wildfire. It exploded everywhere. And not only Los Angeles, it was spreading. It spread across the country. It spread to damn Dallas. It spread to Atlanta. It spread to goddamn Chicago, New York, D.C. It spread so fast. So the police were unable to contain it. This situation, they contained it right away. They contained it, and they were just picking people left and right and arresting people left and right, and it had no chance to see. and I don't want to get racial. No, fuck it, I'm gonna get racial. You can't compare black people getting upset compared to Hispanics getting upset. The Hispanics got upset yesterday and they contained that shit. When the Rodney King verdict came down and they said not guilty, they said not guilty. Not only every black person, but every white person, every person that has felt like they have been underdone by the judicial system just erupted. It just erupted. That's why it was so spontaneous because it was everywhere because everybody understood, and you didn't have to be black to understood that damn, you beat this man Rodney King senseless, and the whole country was like, "Yo, these cops beat this man, and y'all found him not guilty." It was no containing that, but the situation with the migrants wanting to get into a system, nobody had their back on that. They were La Raza was by themselves. Yeah, you have a couple of few black people out there and few white people out there, but you got to understand the country has spoken. The country already is behind Trump. Like they're behind Tom Homan. Yo, the migrants have got to go. They made their case. Trump has said, a lot of them are goddamn gangbangers and child traffickers and all that. So it's like, y'all ain't got much leg to stand on. Y'all ain't got no leg to stand though, so you can't compare it to Rodney King. That was the mainstream media doing. That was Fox doing that of all goddamn medias. You cannot compare because again, when they beat down Rodney King and said that the police that beat him down were not guilty, everybody felt that. They're like, no, I don't care what background you were from. I don't care if you were white. I don't care if you were Hispanic or black. People were like, no, out of all the times when I say I'm speaking about all of us that we have been found guilty on something as small as I don't know a traffic violation and had to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars, be on probation, and you mean to tell me they could beat the crap out of this man with an inch of his life, and y'all find him not guilty, and the evidence is right there before our eyes? No, it ain't going down like that. So no, you can't. And that's why the riots were everywhere. They couldn't stop it, and the anger was so. The anger for the migrants is not at that level with Rodney King. You cannot compare the two. You can't compare the two. You cannot compare the two because the anger with Rodney King was just over the boiling point. Again, with the migrant situation, we're kind of looking at migrants sideways. Like, there's a lot of homeless Americans who are black, white, and Hispanic and Asian, and you guys are cutting it, because it's white, black, and Hispanic, and white, black, and Hispanic, and Asian, they're migrants. And so we're looking at these people like, getting back the line. No, you're not gonna cut in front of the line like this. What the hell? No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Hold on, y'all. We're not doing that. Get some of this water. Damn. Give me a second, y'all. And this summer is already. It's morning time, and I'm already dehydrated. It's already 80 degrees already, and the sun is not even up yet. And it's 80 degrees. Hold on one second, y'all. It's already 80 degrees, man. 80 degrees. Oh gosh. So yeah, that's the local news, domestic news. Y'all know I don't do local and domestic unless it's this serious. And yeah, the Elon Musk, yeah, I had to, even though it's drama, that whole thing between Elon and Trump was some nigga shit. That's some nigga shit. I don't really like to touch on nigga shit. And Elon was on his nigga, yeah, he was on his nigga shit. So anywho, let me let me oh, that's a roll off truck. Let me uh oh, where's the I don't see the. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. The damn live chat. Okay. Oh, Beverly's in the house. Oh, we got Tim. What do you think about what's going on in Los Angeles? Yeah, I spoke on that. You are right. Have to work. Beverly says, all these years after Rodney King, we have Tyree Nichols. Police were found not guilty again. Tyree Nichols. Right, right. The thing, Beverly, that made Rodney King so bad is what we saw it filmed. When it's not filmed, which is which is the thing that there's been thousands of Rodney Kings throughout the ages and Tyrese and but the thing is that Rodney King was filmed. Like we filmed it from the time he got pulled over to the time they whooped his ass until the time they got him on the ambulance. All that was clearly filmed. These other cases, I'm not sure if the Tyrese case was filmed, but when it's not filmed, there's questionable doubt. Like imagine with Rodney King, they filmed it and they tried us. So you know they're gonna try us if it's not on film. Think about that, Beverly. Think about that. We clearly saw when Rodney King got pulled over, pulled out of his car, beaten with a baton, beaten, pow pow. They beat him, and then I mean they bruised him up bad. We witnessed that whole fiasco, and they tried us saying, "Oh, well, y'all didn't see that. Oh, not guilty." That's the difference. If it was never filmed, they can try us, and we don't have nothing. We have no foundation to go on. That video of Rodney King was the foundation. Was the foundation that we said nah. We watched the whole thing. And you mean to tell me they're not guilty? But all these other cases now, yeah, now people can say that with George Floyd, and look what happened with George Floyd riots. Again, the video gives us all the evidence that we need. So it makes it a little bit more difficult when these cases aren't filmed. But I don't know, Beverly. You let me know. I just know they kept playing that Rodney King thing over and over and over again. You couldn't miss it. Now, a lot of things, and it's funny because we didn't even have the internet back then. But it seemed like, um, yeah, they're trying us. They try us. I mean, just look at this Ukraine thing. Look at Ukraine. They lying to us about Ukraine, man, saying that oh Ukraine, and you know Ukraine are damn Nazis. They're Nazis. Ukrainians are Nazis. What? That's it. Period. And Putin wants to denazify Ukraine. But back to the local news. So yeah, I I just wanted to address and just have a sit down that makes sense about Rodney King being on video the whole time. Yeah, the whole time, Beverly. The whole time from the minute he got pulled over, got beaten down, and then they took him off to the ambulance. All that was filmed. So there was no questionable doubt. We had all that footage. And they tried to say, oh, well, he tried to resist arrest, and we're watching the whole footage. No, that's not the way it looks to us. So we had a whole footage to work with, Beverly. So when things are on video, it's hard to navigate what is true and what is made up and what is, what I'm saying? It's hard to say because people can say, oh, well, Tyrese resisted arrest. He went into his goddamn pocket and we thought he had a gun. But if there's no video showing that, then we just have to take their word for it, even though we don't want to take their word for it if we know we don't trust them. But, because, and I say them, meaning you got good cops, you got bad cops, and you got. So the video is the great equalizer, Beverly, is what I'm saying. The video allows you to be the judge of the situation. It allows you to assess the situation with your own eyes and you're using your own logic. You don't have nobody holding your hand, Beverly. So what I'm saying is that yeah, Rodney King is the pinnacle of cases because the length the length of evidence that we had on video. The video allowed us to maneuver around the nonsense. Let me say that. It allowed us the length of the video allowed us as witnesses to maneuver around the nonsense, the narrative that they tried to place. Oh well, he was resisting arrest, and oh he was on drugs, and oh we the with the police we felt like we were in danger, and we're like y'all feel like y'all are in danger. This man is, I mean, y'all beating him down. He's already in fetal position, and y'all still beating him down. See, this is what video evidence allows us to do. It allows us to come up with our own conclusion. Ruby, how you doing, Ruby? See, Ruby left a comment the other day about Ruby. I love the comment she left. Give you point case point example, everybody. Ruby left a comment yesterday saying that Ukraine, one of the most corrupt countries, poorest countries. Did I say corrupt and poor? Yeah, corrupt, most poorest corrupt countries in Europe did not have the capability of having satellites, of hitting 5 different areas of Russia without European help. And she added in America. I didn't want to add in America to make Trump look bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Y'all know I voted for Trump and I'm all down with Trump on the domestic, but the foreign, Trump, you need to step up, Donald Trump. You need to step up because um, now I will say this. I will say this, but again, this whole situation with Donald Trump and Ukraine and Russia is it's it's I hope, let me just say this. I hope Donald Trump does right by the sake of doing right. Because if you try to run game on Russia, it's not going to work, Donald Trump. So do not try to run game on Russia. Don't do it, Donald Trump. I'm going to say this, and it might make some people upset. And I like Donald Trump, but Vladimir Putin is way smarter than Donald Trump. And I'm not saying this as a Putin apologist. I'm not saying this like I want to move to Russia. No, I'm saying this like, yo, Donald Trump, don't do it. Don't do it. Do right by Russia and do right by Ukraine. Well, no, I guess you can't do right by Russia and Ukraine, meaning, okay, if, let me say this, because it looks like all of Putin's, he dots all his I's and he cross all his T's. And Zelensky is not, and neither is NATO. So, Donald Trump, it looks so far like you're doing the right thing by Russia, doing the right thing for the right thing's sake, meaning I'm going to speak the truth. Putin is in the right. He's in the right. He's in the right. He's in the right. He's in the right based on my research. And I've done a lot of research. Again, let me tell people out here, because some people, y'all might be scared to share this video with people like, oh, I don't want to be seen as a Putin apologist. I've been doing this Russia Ukraine thing since 2014, and y'all look at my very first video on this channel. Y'all look at how long I've been doing this. I've been doing this. I didn't even have gray hair. I did not have gray hair. Okay. So what I'm saying is that the Russia situation since 2014 have Putin has dotted all his I's and crossed all his T's on this situation. And so when I look at it, and I look at Zelensky, and I look at Donald Trump, and I look at goddamn Stromer and Macron and all them, and this new goddamn this Nazi, but I will say this. Donald Trump because a lot of y'all got upset when the African president came and Donald Trump kind of clowned him, and I got kind of upset over that too. But Donald